You are now listening to the I Do What I Do podcast with your host, Mitch. Episode 3, Late Night Feels. Man, oh man, it's 1:45 in the morning right now. I gotta be quite honest, I'm tired right now. It's been a long, hard-working week this week. Day in, day out. Um, I look outside my door. It's a lot of big red flashing lights. Looks like medical, looks like firefighter lights. Hopefully nobody got hurt. Hopefully nobody got their heart broken tonight. You know, that's the worst feeling in the world, in my opinion. Getting heartbroken, because it just slows down your momentum everywhere, physically, mentally, eternally. It's just like, where do I go from here? You know, sucks, man. Um, you know, does anyone feel the same way I feel? You know, during the day you're emotionally stable, but during the night you're just emotionally unstable. Like you feel this complete yearn to love someone during the nighttime. It's just like, man, I just want to be around. I just want to be wrapped around someone's arms and just tell them over and over again, like 500 times, man, you're beautiful. I appreciate you. I adore you. I love you. I love you with all my heart and soul. Like, to all the men out there, man, or should I say to all the boys out there, if you got a girl, man, don't take that for granted, because heck, that right there, that can really keep you going for years upon years on end. Love her internally. Love her unconditionally, because she deserves it. And on that note, you know what? I'm gonna do what I do. Let's get to it, man. All right, let's see what I've watched. Give me a sec. Here we go. Landscape with Invisible Hand tells the story of a civilization where a form of extraterrestrial has made its way on Earth, as the government conducts business with these alien life forms, which leads to unemployment across the globe, where most jobs are taken up or no longer serviceable. The story is centered around a high school kid whom aspires to be an artist while forming a somewhat believable relationship with a girl. The kid offers his home, hit her entire family his home too, as they broadcast a relationship, hoping to secure income, as the alien life form will pay to watch humans condone in romantic matters. This film comes from Corey Finley, as I feel he's extremely under the radar, delivering on his first two films, Thoroughbreds and especially Bad Education. Both films I highly recommend. I really enjoyed those two. Considering how really good his first two films were, I figured this film was worth seeking out, taking a half an hour drive for. While Landscape with Invisible Hand is the weakest entry by Corey Finley thus far, however, I appreciate the fact Finley continues to create unique, original films, while also yet again delivers with this solid, intriguing science fiction follow-up of his. And I really appreciate the fact he took a turn when it comes to his next film. Like he went on a whole new direction with this film, and I really appreciate an artist taking on new approach to the craft. I feel the reaction from this film is, of course, going to be a bit unsettled for viewers just because of its weird nature. However, some of the unsettlement could lead to feeling unsettled because about the current landscape of civilization we live in today, as government, big tech, and massive companies would rather allow society crumble right before our eyes. For example, what the production companies are doing with AI and the ongoing actors writers strike. This film really isn't far off from its own fictional narrative compared to what's going on in today's world. I tell you, God forbid. I felt this film kept up my interest from start to finish. It somehow manages some well executed comedic moments while also striking an emotional chord on what it truly means to search for purpose, where your current living circumstances doesn't appear to have much of a purpose to move forward with life itself. I give Landscape with Invisible Hand a B. I recommend checking this one out, but I warn you, it's a bit weird, so prepare yourself. Strays tells the tale of an abused, neglected dog named Reggie who gets abandoned by his loser, pot-smoking, masturbating owner. Well, that's a mouthful. Reggie gets acquainted with the stray dog world, where he'll meet a stray by the name of Bug, showing Reggie the ropes of being a stray. Reggie has come to face reality that his owner was a horrible, abusive man, as he will travel back to his owner's house hoping to bite his private part off, a part in which his owner has spent more time giving much affection towards than his own dog. You heard that right. The gimmick of this film is pretty simple. Dogs say potty words for 90 minutes. Remember the animated film Sausage Party, where food items say potty words for 89 minutes? Well, there you go. I feel this film would have been a financial hit if it was released back in like the late 2000s or even middle of the 2010s, as it probably would have made as much as Sausage Party did. We're living in an interesting time where people don't go out to see comedies as much as they used to, which is kind of odd and strange. I mean, who doesn't like comedies? It's nice. Go out with the homies, go out with the girlfriends, go out with a date, go out with yourself. I mean, it's a fun time. Anyways, Strays is a step above Sausage Party. The gimmick can get a bit tiresome here and there. However, I will say the humor does get going in several sequences here and there. Plus, the ridiculous plot line somewhat revealing the unbearable nature of what neglect and abuse can do for a soul is somewhat channeled in this film, which is a bit of a surprise considering it's a goofy comedy, but okay. I feel the plot within itself makes the viewer hoping this dog receives justice as you're hoping the dog takes down that bastard, so at least it's got a moving plot that kind of works. You know, I give Strays a C+. I feel this film is better suited at home, but this is a fine date out spot if you and your significant other are goofballs, I suppose. You know, it's a goofy comedy. Very crude humor. Okay? Yeah. On to sports now. Guess who's back? Back again. Baker's back. Baker Mayfield has now been named starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker's career is just interesting to me. I mean, a stellar rookie year with 27 TDs, then dipping his sophomore year with a 22 to 21 TD interception ratio, then having a great third year with a 26-8 touchdown interception ratio, which I feel people don't give him much recognition. He brought the poverty franchise Cleveland Browns to not only a playoff berth, but he actually won a playoff game against, the hated rivals Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, why didn't he get any credit for that? I mean, it just felt like an under-the-radar kind of season. Like, it should have been celebrated across the city of Cleveland, for crying out loud. It was a significant accomplishment, not to mention he almost took down the Chiefs in the divisional round. But then, he dipped in 2021, then traded 2022, released 2022. Then, he got signed by the Rams, and he had a pretty good comeback game against the Raiders. That one Thursday night game that brought teams believing in Mayfield again. It's just been a weird NFL run for him. I tell you, I feel Baker has the right to be a starting quarterback in this league. He has shown proof he can play in this league. It really all depends on his coaching staff and organization behind him. Like, are you going to pull the plug if a player starts drama off the field about him, or fans are whining when the team doesn't do well, when it's not entirely his fault? It happened in Cleveland. I don't feel his time in Cleveland was worth the scrutiny he got. I mean, he was actually good, but then again, he was a little inconsistent here and there. So, you can side with the opposing crowd, But like I said before, Baker has a really good receiving core, so I expect him to put up decent numbers at least. You got a top 10 receiver on your team along with a solid number 2 with Godwin, so let the ball rip. After Trey Lance loses out on being the number 1 QB to Brock Purdy, to now losing the number 2 quarterback spot to Sam Darnold for the 49ers. The 49ers have now just traded Trey Lance to the Cowboys in exchange for a 4th-round pick. I feel the need to say this. Everyone owes the Chicago Bears an apology for the Mitch Trubisky trade. I mean, our trade was not even close to the absurdity of this trade. Good Lord. The 49ers traded their 12th pick, a 3rd-round pick, 2 first-round picks for 2022 and 2023, totaling at 3 first-round picks to the Dolphins for the 3rd pick, which led to Trey Lance. Really? Wow. Oh, God. For starters, I didn't like this trade from the beginning because how do you trade 3 first-round picks for a quarterback that's playing in Division I subdivision? Like, no disrespect, but playing teams like South Dakota, Murray State, North Dakota, Missouri State, I mean, this is far different from playing, programs in the SEC, Big 10, Big 12. Like, Trey Lance, he was a project. You don't haul your assets for a project, especially your future for the next few years for a project. I get he was going to be Jimmy G's successor, but still, think of what you could potentially build with the next 2 years of first-round picks. This trade never made any logical sense to me. It's just like, you're really going to trade all that for a guy you have literally no clue if he's going to be good or not? That's not good. That's not good management. Come on. But, you can say Lance getting hurt the second game of last season hurt his status quo a bit. It didn't help. Jimmy G was running that offense extremely efficient where Lance could not. But what destroyed Lance's future with the 49ers is the unexpected explosiveness of Mr. Irrelevant, Purdy boy Brock, that really killed him. This trade by the Cowboys is just questionable. I don't think Lance is needed over there as a backup, given you already have an established backup in Cooper Rush, whom, he went 4-1 when Prescott went out with an injury last year. Like, do you really need Lance on your team? You got you have an established backup quarterback with Rush. I don't get it. Given 49ers situation in the regular season, especially the playoffs, I guess 3 quarterbacks that can throw the ball doesn't hurt either. So I guess there's that. I don't feel it's justified to call Trey Lance a bust yet. I mean, he's only had limited time on the field where he didn't look bad. It just doesn't justify that reputation. I feel it was just a poorly done managed move that really had no justification in making the move whatsoever. We'll see if Lance will make it back on the field again, but it's unlikely. But, never say never. Never say never. And I calling all the angels. And I'm calling all the angels. Man, oh man, this franchise certainly does need an angel to help lift them up from consistent mediocrity. Shohei Ohtani, aka the most underrated sports icon of our time, unfortunately tore his UCL against the Reds Wednesday night, causing the stud an unfortunate setback yet again in terms of pitching wise. He'll continue to be a designated hitter while making a decision on a second Tommy John surgery. But man, Ohtani was putting up an incredible season yet again for the third straight year in a row. 44 home runs, 91 RBIs, a career best in .304 batting average, along with pitching 10 wins, 3.14 ERA, and 167 strikeouts. Man, this man is a certified freak. It's a damn shame since it looked like, Ohtani was going to be consistently healthy this time. It's been a few years since he hasn't been hurt now. Dang it. Now he's just got an unfortunate setback, which, yet again, this boils for the game of baseball, if we're being honest. He was definitely the show indeed. With his injury, though, does it hurt his free agency stock a bit? I don't think so. I mean, as a hitter, he's definitely one of the best power hitters alone in the league. So you figure he's worth a great deal of cash. Him not being a dual threat will dip a tiny bit in terms of free agency. I hope it's not time for Ohtani to hang it up as a dual, once-in-a-lifetime generational talent. But if he does, understandable. I think he'll have a longer lasting career as a hitter than a pitcher. Oh yeah, Mike Trout. He got hurt again. That's news? Really? Mans gets hurt blowing his nose these days. Okay. College football is officially back, guys. The greatest sport on earth is back. Beautiful time we're living in. Well, this week only features a few games, so I won't be doing a segment as I'll introduce this new segment next week. But for now, here's some Money Mitch picks. Football in Dublin. Luck of the Irish in Dublin, eh? Notre Dame takes on Navy in this grand spectacle of an event, I suppose, playing in Dublin. Interesting. Notre Dame is laying 20.5 points to Navy. Navy has been on a decline the last few years as a football program. Betting on Notre Dame is one of those things it's hard to commit to. I say that because when Notre Dame plays these weaker teams, they typically never cover as they're surprisingly close games. I don't get it. However, I feel the luck of the Irish is on the Irish this time around, eh? As I'm picking the Irish giving 20.5 to Navy. I feel this will be the coming out party of former Wake Forest stud Sam Hartman, whom is on my Heisman watch list. This offensive killer machine was explosive for Wake Forest, as now going a level up with Notre Dame thanks to the transfer portal. Hartman is ready to break teams' heart by pulling up 35 points per game. I say 4 TD performance today, letting everyone know the Heartbreak Man is here. You get it? Because Sam Hartman is old, so it can't be Heartbreak Kid. It's gotta be Heartbreak Man. Anyhow, the game of the week, it's easy. Ohio University taking on San Diego State. A nice Mid-American Mountain West action. Me personally, I'm rolling with Ohio plus 2.5. Coming off a great 10-4 year last season, including a Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl win against Wyoming, I see Ohio coming on top over the Aztecs outright. They got the 2022 MAC Offensive Player of the Year, Curtis Rourke, back for his senior year, as I can only see him deliver a killer comeback first game off an ACL he suffered late last season. Looking forward to that game. It should be a good one. I can't wait to watch that one. All right, can I go to bed? Can I go to bed? All right, we'll get to a nice, quick and simple conclusion. August 25th, we were all believed that Drake was gonna drop his "For All the Dogs" album on the 25th on midnight of August. He didn't drop it. Everyone was hyped. Everybody was like, yes, Drake is going to drop the album. And he didn't drop the album. Why? Because in a typical Drake album rollout, if he announces the album cover of the album, he drops the week of, and he didn't. And now we're left with no new Drake music for the weekend. Sucks, man. Why would you play us like that, Drake? You're charging people like... Well, he's not personally charging people this amount of money, but you're charging $400+ balcony seats for your concert. And now you do this. I don't know what's wrong with mans these days, eh? Man's going loco, eh? It's so disappointing. But I'm gonna go to bed. Catch y'all on the next I Do What I Do. And you already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what I do, which is getting into my bed and going to sleep. Good night, y'all. And see you in the morning on this beautiful Saturday day of first week of college football. Have a great weekend, y'all. Goodbye.